Today is the last day of celebration. Have you gotten in on our sales? There are so many free options out there with $60 purchases. So I'm using the Natural Botanicals, which is a stamp set you can get for free with a $60 purchase on my website. So be sure to head over there and let's get started on our double page layout. Hi friends! Today we're creating a double page layout using the Bloom Impressions DSP paper. These are 12 by 12s. They're double-sided, so you get 2 of each pattern, and you can get it for free with a $60 purchase on my website. It is part of the celebration. Today is the last day of celebration. It went through February. So if you want to get any of the celebration products, be sure to head over to my website. The link is in the description box below. I'm also bringing in these 2 items. The Meant to Be is a stamp set that comes with coordinating dies. You can buy them together or separate. I bought the bundle, but I did add my own magnet in here that does not come with it. This spells out our hive, and it has the letters and then a offset. So it kind of does a layering. And then these are the wings, the little bee. And I love the hexagons. Let's be honest, I bought this for the hexagons. So we're going to play with those today. This is going to be so fun. Love this life. Cute as can be. We are meant to be. These are perfect little titles or sentiment spots. And then I'm going to be bringing in this little flying bee trail. I'm also going to be using this Natural Botanicals. This is part of the celebration right now, free with a $60 purchase. So be sure to check out my website. It has amazing new products. They added more at the beginning of February. They added some more to the celebration list. So if you haven't checked that out, be sure to head over there. But it's just a cute little stamp set. And I'm going to be doing some fun techniques with this. This is going to be a double page layout, and I am going to build it on white cardstock so I can add some background stamping. When you use these hexagon die cuts, it cuts out the outside layer and the inside. So you get both. I used 2 different sizes here, but I'm just showing for reference. And then I used black cardstock as well. So I'm going to be doing a little frame around all of them with that black cardstock and then pattern paper in the center. And then I'm going to set these aside for another project, which I think I will create and show at the end of this video. So stay tuned for that. I cut a bunch of different colors with my hexagons. This one is cut off, so I'm going to have to place that one somewhere under a photo mat. But I'm sure you've seen some designs like this. I've seen it all over the place, and I just really wanted to create that with my hexagons. So I just kind of spread out the colors, spread out the sizes so 2 weren't next to each other. This one's going to hang off, so I might be able to cut that and then use that elsewhere on the layout. And then this one I want to kind of split the 2 pages, so we'll need to bring them together to get that exact measurement. But I'm liking how it kind of carries your eye along. I cut a few photo mats. This is darker than this color, but it brings out the dark color in this yellow pattern. So I cut a few 4x6s. These are slightly larger. These are 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then I'm thinking maybe down here. I'm not quite sure yet on that layout, but then I thought my title could go down here. And I did cut out the Our Hive. Woo, these need to be rearranged so they actually stick. But I cut out Our Hive, and I did that in the black and yellow. So there's hive, and here is R. I need to find the word. There we go. So I thought our hive could go down here and maybe do a cluster. I already adhered that dot on top of the eye so I wouldn't lose it. I wanted to bring in the photo mats so that I could play around with the placement of my hexagons. So where I'm going to start is with this one because I know I want it up at the top split between these, and then I can kind of build from there. I am going to use my Barely Art Glue to tack down the hexagons. Ooh, these are kind of hard to hold on to. Okay. You don't need a whole lot of glue. This Barely Art Glue is very tacky, so I'm just doing a little dot here and there. You could just go on the corners, but since this one is going to be cut, I want to make sure I have enough to hold on wherever I cut. Okay. So now that we have that first piece, I can keep building from there. I want them all to have the straight edge at the bottom rather than, you know, like this. I want them all facing the same direction. This direction would be cute too, but since I did that way, we'll keep them all going that direction. And then I'm going to put the bracket down first and then find where I put my other piece. Oh, right here. And we'll add tape to that one. Oh no, I wanted that color. Shoot. Well, what if I did, you know what? I already have tape on it. We're gonna do this color. I've been doing the fronts and the backs, so it doesn't really matter. We'll go ahead and do that color. So now I need to just rearrange a little bit more so that I don't have two of the same color. So then this one will flip over. There. Okay, that wasn't too difficult. Happy accident. Okay, so now I can go ahead and play around with the others. I don't know why I bother trying to plan layouts, because as soon as I start going, I just go. And now I have something completely different than what I had before I started gluing. And I have an extra hexagon. So I could put it over here. I don't know. But I liked how this was flowing better, but now I'm not sure about my pictures and my title, and it changes everything just by changing where I put my hexagons. So all the black are adhered, but not the inside. So I can play around with the colors a little bit more. But now that I changed up the layout of this, I need to change up my pattern too, or my pattern paper. Oh goodness, let's grab the other ones. I don't know why I do this to myself. So now it's super easy. We'll just add, you can add it directly to your layout, or you can flip your pattern paper over. But now we can just start adding. I don't know which way I want my grass to go. I didn't think about the direction of the paper when I cut it, so if you wanted your grass to go straight up and down, keep that in mind. But oh, it's flaking. So this will be super quick and easy to just get all these pieces put in like a puzzle. This is what I'm thinking for the layout of my photos. I kind of wanted it to kind of mimic the hexagons and be kind of playful. I wanted to fill in this big white area for sure. So I wanted a photo there. And maybe I should do another and then kind of have like that. I brought in this little piece of white cardstock as kind of my photo, because sometimes seeing so much orange, it just messes with me, and I'm like, where's the photo? What's it gonna look like? So with just that little bit of orange showing, it helps me to kind of see. And maybe if I go over more, because I don't want to hide too much of the hexagons, and I want it to look like they're kind of peeking out, so I don't want them to be completely lined up. So maybe something like that, and then have our title up here, our hive. I could also bring this photo towards the top and have our hive below. I am not going to put the white down because I print my photos with white frames. So these are slightly larger than 3x4, so I can print my photo exactly at 3x4 right now. Let's bring in some embellishments and see how that looks. I stamped the bee on yellow paper. So this is yellow cardstock, and then I brought in black ink and stamped the stripes. And then I used the wings and these little antenna guys with just black cardstock. And I just dropped one. I did not do the smiley faces yet. There are smiley face stamps to add to your bee. I wasn't sure how playful I wanted it, but now without it, it almost looks bare. Oh, that's the big wings. This is the small bee. He gets the small wings. So I'll put my bees together. And then I also did the natural botanicals, and I stamped some in light green. And then let me show you how I did these leaves and these florals. I really like how these turned out. To get this look, I used the Stampin' Right markers, and you can use these on your stamps and then stamp on it. They stay wet enough that they work as an ink. So what I did was used the Mossy Meadow Green and went over the stem. And then I used Early Espresso for the little bulb on top, the little seeds at the top. And then I used Pecan Pie for the petals. And I just went over all that, and then I stamped it on white cardstock and then fussy cut it out. And it adds like this watercolor kind of look, which I thought went nicely with this paper. So that's how I did those. And I just dropped it. And these small flowers just without the green. So I made a few of those, and I used my green Stampin' Right for these leaves. This one is an ink pad of the lighter green, which doesn't really match anything, but I thought it was okay to bring in another shade of green. After placing my embellishments down in kind of a triangular formation, I think I do like my photo placements, and I can see a lot of the pattern papers, and I'm happy with that. So I am going to tack down my photo mats and then start perfecting my embellishments. I kind of want our hive to go into this cluster. I thought of bringing this cluster down, but then my clusters were right at an angle. So moving that up kind of defines that visual triangle. I could also bring a cluster down here, but I didn't want the white space up here, so I'm not going to move that one. I could kind of go like this and keep that white space open there and do a cluster down here, and that kind of completes a visual triangle too. So let's start by putting down the photo mats. I like to start with the bigger pieces in my clusters. So maybe something like that, and then bringing this in. And then since I have the light green in these big florals or leaves, I have the dark green in these. And then maybe overlap those. I could also bring one of those bigger ones down to another cluster. I do want both the bigger sprigs up in this area since we have a lot of white space. I don't want to cover so much of my pattern paper down here. So I am going to do those up there, and I want to stamp the little bee trail So I think I might go ahead and do that if I know where I want my bee. Kind of want him coming in towards the, so I think right about there is where I'll stamp that. And since it'll be hidden behind him, I can just stamp it directly on. I don't need to do any masking. Since I am stamping directly onto my layout, I want to make sure that my block is nice and clean. And perfect. Now that I got one cluster done and adhered, I can kind of mimic my other clusters off of that. So I popped this up on 3D foam, this one on foam dimensionals, and then all of this is layered behind. My bee is popped up on 3D foam too. So now that I kind of know what I like for my layers, I can kind of mimic that in both of these clusters. Obviously they're going to be a little different with different sprigs and whatnot, but it makes it easier starting with one and then you can just kind of do the others. My clusters are done, but I want to add a few more of the dots, the little buzz lines. I don't know what they're called. Let me grab some scratch paper. This is just a piece of computer paper here. I'm going to block that off, and I think I want one kind of going across the corner here, so it kind of looks like he went up and down. Bringing in my black ink. Again, make sure the block is clean. We don't need to get ink all over our almost finished layout. Cute. And then over here, I don't know that I want to string more across that layout. Yeah, I think that might be too much. So I guess it was just that one little strip right there. I need to cut this apart still. I haven't cut that, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I got that separated, and I think this layout turned out so cute. Look at those little bees. And you guys, these were all free. Head over to my website and pick those up. So cute. This paper is part of the celebration too. So summery, springy, adorable. I am so excited to get some photos on this. This would be great for hiking or, you know, summer photos where you're out with the bees. Do we need some gems on this? I have a few options. Of course, I have my little bee trinkets. If you haven't seen me use these yet, I have a video of those, but they are so tiny and adorable. But I don't know that I want to bring in the little bees along with my big bees. So then I brought over some really old glitter gems from close to my heart and my antique pearls. And I'm wondering which one. My antique pearls will probably go best. I thought I'd change it up a little bit because I use my antique pearls a lot, but when they fit, they fit. Right? I'm just gonna add a few to each of my clusters. I promised that I would show what I was going to do with the leftover hexagons from all of these pattern papers. So I am going to put that together real fast off camera, and I'll be back to show you how that comes along. Here's that first layout we put together. And my second one is complete opposite. So I used the outside pieces of these hexagons, and then I used some Sundance as my base page, and then I cut down my black. I used heat embossing for all of these little swirls, which came from that meant to be stamp. So I stamped this and then I heat embossed it. The butterflies are a celebration item I got for free right here, the beautiful butterflies, and I just used these 2 smaller ones. I stamped those in the blue and then I fussy cut them out, and I did add some dimension to them, and I adhered their body down flush and put the adhesive or the 3D foam on the wings so it kind of looks like he's flying. I did add dimensionals to some of the florals as well, which came from Delightful Wishes. That's available now. So these are die cuts and layered on top of each other. And then I have the stars. And the stars were just from my stash. So again, I have his wings popped up. I have another one over here, which I actually messed up the stamping on this trail right here. And so that covered it up nicely. So you can't even tell I messed up there. So 2 very completely different layouts. Let me bring in that left-hand page. I didn't follow this, but it happened that I kind of built it in the same way. And then over here, yeah, I kind of built this up more. I have more room in between my photos there. So which one do you like better? I think I have to lean towards this one, honestly. I like my embellishments a little bit more, and I like the white, clean, airy feel. This one just looks a little, I don't know. I'm excited to get photos on it. I think at first when I was doing the black with the color, I was thinking of cosmic bowling or like glow bowling. But then after I added the florals and the butterflies, I'm thinking more of summer pictures, floral pictures. I don't know yet. What pictures do you think I should add to it? I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And until next time, live a life worth scrapping. Bye, guys.